Hey everybody. So I wrote a short story and I want to share it with y'all. Please let me know what you think because if you guys like the story, I definitely want to put it into a book form. But I'm just putting it out there so I can get some constructive criticism and you know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think. All right. Chapter 1. Madison and Pulaski stayed loud. Car horns barking, corner hustlers whistling, weed rocks blows pod, boom boxes on full blast with crucial conflict and do or die bumping out them speakers. The smell of gyro meat, weed smoke, and that hot summer asphalt mixing into the kind of scent that only the west side of Chicago could create. It was 1997, and the Garfield Park neighborhood was alive the way a beast is alive, busy, unpredictable, and hungry. And so was Tony James, known to everybody that mattered at ChiTown. 20 something, 6'2", caramel brown skin, with a face smooth enough to make the older women double back and the young women risk it all. His naturally wavy hair, thanks to his mother's mixed bloodline, hung down his neck in the soft ripple curls, brown bedroom eyes, thick eyelashes, and a smile that could talk a pastor's wife out of her savings, okay? But behind all that beauty lives something sharp, something dangerous. Chi-Town had been bred into chaos, raised by his mother, a dope fiend with a habit stronger than her will. And he had 4 older sisters. They loved him, but they couldn't save him. They couldn't save him from these streets. He was like the baby boy that never got a chance to be a boy at all. By 15, he was already knee-deep in gang politics, touching money, and being involved in the kind of violence that kind of aged you overnight. He sold dope because it was fast, because it made sense, and because nobody expected anything else from him. But pimping. Pimping was cleaner. Pimping was power. Pimping meant you didn't have to run from bullets. You let everybody else do the running for you. So for Chi-Town, that he was just starting to feel the weight and the shine of that kind of game. And he was still fresh, still learning, still hungry. But he had a presence, real magnetic and unavoidable. The type of presence that made women look twice and made men think before they spoke to him. Okay. The girl in the red two-piece. Across the street, inside Top and Bottoms, 3 girls was arguing over who looked the best in the mirror. Hood fashions lit up the racks. Apple bottoms, Pelly Pelly, Sergio Tacchini, and Coogee sweaters for the winter months. And in the middle of them racks was Mimi, Michelle Cooper. Pretty chocolate skinned thing with innocent eyes that lied on her behalf because life had been anything but innocent. Her body had grown into curves she never asked for. Big breasts, small waist, and hips that turned heads on accident. Lips full enough to make the devil himself pause. She was 18, but she looked older. She carried trauma in her walk. She grew up in the Henry Horner homes down there by the United Center, the kind of place people survive more than they live. The middle child of 9, forgotten and used in all the wrong ways. Her father and uncle, sick men who hid behind evil, hard faces and had taken pieces of her childhood and left her with silent shame and a deep burning need to escape. So she stayed pretty much in the streets, trying to anywhere but home, you know what I'm saying? So she got to running with some girls in her neighborhood. They was hitting small licks on tricks and stuff. Who was, in the neighborhood trying to mess with the young girls. But It wasn't much, but it was enough for some outfits, food, bus passes, you know what I'm saying, to anywhere that wasn't home. So that particular day, they had hit a nice lick for like $1,200 cash from a thirsty old man who didn't know he was dealing with baby wolves, and they came straight on Madison to spend it. That was the day that changed it all. ChiTown was leaning against the streetlight outside the store, posted with a tall lemonade from Mr. Gyro and wearing a fresh pair of Air Force Ones. He wasn't really waiting on anybody, but he was alert. The streets never slept, and neither did opportunity. When Mimi stepped out the store in a red two-piece outfit that hugged her like devotion, time shifted for a moment. She didn't see him at first, but he saw everything about her. Her hesitation when her friends walked ahead. The way that she scanned the street like she was used to danger, used to choosing the safest route. The way she even tried to shrink even though her body refused to let her be ignored. Then, then her eyes landed on his, and it was done. She blinked twice, slow, like her soul recognized something before her mind did. He pushed off the corner, off the street, off the sidewalk, and smirked, a smirk that should have been illegal, and he walked towards her. He said, "You looking like trouble," with a deep voice. "What they call you?" Her friends giggled and kept walking, giving her space, but not too much. Mimi brushed the girl from her face and tried to appear unbothered, but her heartbeat was loud enough to hear. She said, "They call me Mimi." ChiTown nodded, drifting down her shape slow enough to make her blush. Cute, fitting too. She rolled her eyes, but the smile on her lips told the truth. So she said, "What they call you?" He leaned in just a little, enough to make her catch her breath, and said, "ChiTown, don't you forget it." The connection they didn't see coming. They talked, they walked, they talked, laughed like they had known each other longer than a few minutes. She told him about her big family, about trying to get after Henry Horner someday. She didn't tell him the darkest parts. Girls like her never did up front, but he heard it anyway. Trauma has a sound. He told her about his dreams too, though he did not call them dreams. Plans, money moves, bigger hustle, a future outside the block. By the time the streetlights flickered on, Mimi knew that she did not want to leave him. That was some connection. By the time her friends, by that time, her friends doubled back, annoyed. ChiTown knew he wasn't letting her walk out his life. It wasn't love, not yet. But it was something. It was something thick, something real, something hungry, something that would change both of their lives forever. Hard times hit. 2 months later, they was inseparable. Boyfriend, girlfriend, ride or die energy before either one of them even said the words. Mimi had moved into ChiTown's sister basement apartment most nights, only returning to the Hornets to if she had to. You know, ChiTown protected her in a way that she didn't even know she needed. She soothed parts of him that he didn't know still hurt. But the streets have perfect timing when it comes to ruining beautiful things. A raid, a setup, a quick case. ChiTown caught a charge for possession with intent, and just like that, he was locked up. Mimi cried for 3 days straight. Then she wiped her face, put on her shortest skirt, and stepped onto the blade, baby, because love in her world meant survival, and she would survive for both of them. Let me know what y'all think in the chapter 1.